Please buy the new book by Erika Nicole Moore, Diabolical Tales of Woe. Diabolical Tales of Woe is a thrilling collection of short horror stories that leave you in an excited trepidation to see what will happen next. Prepare to face one horrific encounter after the next in this captivating novel. You can find this book on Amazon in the Kindle and paperback version. That is Diabolical Tales of Woe by Erika Nicole Moore.
I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on a no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. Please follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Man Listen Show. You can also find the show on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, and Google Play. Please share the show and make sure you use the hashtag ManListen. I'm your host, Mark B. Let me introduce the crew. Erika, what's up with you?
Hey, everybody. How are you?
Doing good. C, how you doing?
Hey, what's good?
Everything's good. And last but not least, my boy Lab. What's up with you, bro?
What's going on, man? How everybody doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Have you recovered from the celebration of the Chiefs' victory?
Man, my voice is just getting back today, honestly.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad to have you. Glad to see you in full effect. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So on today's show, we will be discussing Gayle King. Gayle King created an uproar on social media with the line of questioning she directed towards WNBA legend Lisa Leslie. During the interview, they were talking about Lisa's friendship with the fallen NBA legend Kobe Bryant. King asked Leslie about Kobe off the court, his approach to basketball, and what he meant for women's basketball. For those of you who don't know, Kobe's daughter, who passed away with him on that helicopter crash, Gigi, she was a wonderful basketball player who was on the rise, and this caused Kobe to be highly involved with women's basketball, attending WNBA games, and really being a spokesperson for the advancement of women's basketball. Things during the interview went left when King asked Leslie about the rape incident that happened in Colorado. Lisa handled the question with class and dignity and was able to really rebuff the questions and put it to bed effectively. The reaction to King's line of questioning was very angry on social media. A lot of people had a lot to say about it, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But what I want to start off with is asking the crew, what were your initial reactions when you saw the line of questioning that Gayle King levied towards Lisa Leslie?
My first thought was, bye, Gayle, pretty much. I was like, she's had so many opportunities to redeem herself in the eyes of the black community with some of the decisions she's made recently, and I feel like she really has no interest in doing so. And bringing up that topic when everyone knows that it doesn't tarnish his legacy because he wasn't found guilty of anything. So to bring it up to someone who can't provide any more information about the situation was just pointless and disrespectful to Kobe and his family and to the other victims in that accident. But to me, when she's trying to say that it was journalistic integrity to ask the hard-hitting questions and all this, my only question is, Lisa wasn't there. She doesn't know anything about the case that the public doesn't know. So asking her any questions about it, it's just an opinion. And we don't need Lisa Leslie's opinion on that case. We don't need anybody's opinion on that case. And like she said, you've had plenty of years to ask them about it, 12, and you didn't do that. So to bring it up now, it was just disrespectful. I feel like, she got what she deserved. She'll be all right.
It did seem somewhat like a gotcha question because a lot of people talked about the excerpts are just where Gayle focused on the Colorado incident. Now, if you were able to watch the entire interview, you could see where Lisa talked about Kobe. Gayle asked her about, was Kobe arrogant? And Lisa was quick to correct her and say, arrogant on the court. He wasn't arrogant off the court, but on the court, yes, he wanted to dominate you. He wanted to kill you on the court. So she was putting a lot of context to who Kobe was as a person. But like you said, she was not there in Colorado when the incident happened. And it seems as if Gayle was trying to bring her in to the let's pile on Kobe and tarnish his legacy as a black man. And to me, she seemed as if she was functioning as a shield for somebody greater. We can't send someone with a white face to do this, so we'll have Gayle do it. And in her apology, where she talked about she was very angry at the network and how they sliced the interview and how they presented it because it didn't give the full context of the questioning, that questioning wasn't appropriate at all during this time period. Now, I do not believe, I'm not one of the people that believes that Kobe is above reproach. You could critique Kobe, but I think at this point in time, the wounds are still fresh and he's such a big icon and an idol to some. And right now, it's not the appropriate time to talk about that thing. We talked about this during our last show, that now is not the appropriate time. Do I feel like it can never be talked about? No. Do I feel like we can critique Kobe for other things that he may or may not have done correctly? Absolutely. But I think Gayle was somewhat callous with the line of questioning that she had, and I just felt it was inappropriate. So, Lav, what did you think?
Initially, when I saw Gayle's snippet, like she mentioned, my first thought was, yeah, it's too early, too soon. And then quickly after that, I said, maybe Gayle knew what Lisa Leslie was going to say, and maybe she asked that question to get somebody out there to say that's not the kind of person Kobe is. I never would have pictured him doing that or being aggressive in that manner or even harming women in that manner. But then when I heard Gayle's response, I was like, oh, I might have gave her too much credit. I was trying to give her a little credit, but definitely was too soon. Just like you said, I don't think Kobe's above reproach, but I just think time and place for everything. They haven't even had a public memorial for him yet, So I just don't think this was the right time or the right place for it. But what it also reinforced to me, if you ever notice, particularly in sports these days, ESPN, Fox Sports, Bleacher Report, whoever, they always have a black woman, right, who's getting all the inside information. And I think the media feels, white media in particular, feels that a black woman, you put them out there, you're able to get insight that you may not be able to get if you had Chris Berman or somebody like that ask the question. And so I think Gayle is able to skate sometimes because of that.
See?
With her interview, it really confirmed what I've been thinking for years. I feel like Gayle and Oprah are really on this, anti-black male campaign just because of the type of interviews that they're doing and the questions that they're asked. And then, I heard you say earlier that you feel that Gayle was just like the face and somebody else put her up to it. If that is the case, Gayle and Oprah hold more power than almost anybody in that studio. If Gayle didn't want to ask those questions, she wouldn't have. And even after asking the initial question when Lisa Leslie answered it, she's tried to ask like another question, almost like pride, wanting to get her to either change her answer or just dig deeper. So that's why I don't feel bad for Gayle in this situation at all. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she got all the attention that she asked for.
I think we need to be careful, though, when we talk about, and then let me not put words in your mouth, but I think what I heard you just say was Gayle and Oprah are powerful, and they can ask the questions that they want to ask. But I think we need to be careful not to mix up well-paid with power. Because I don't know if you remember when Oprah, when she had her show, when her show was still on air, she went against the beef industry. Y'all remember that? there was a time when Oprah was feuding with the beef industry. They put a lawsuit after her. And as powerful as she is, Oprah had to back down. So I do think that while, and we'll talk about this a little bit later when we talk about Oprah and Gayle, I do think that they have influence. I think that they are well respected, but I do think they are still employees, and particularly Gayle. And for her to act as if she was violated by the network because of how they put out the interview, she didn't have to ask the question, like you said, see. She didn't have to ask the question, and then they tried to backtrack, but I don't believe it at all. I believe that she was put out there to do that and to try to accomplish a mission, and black people weren't having it. So, I mean, did y'all get a chance to see her apology? What did you think about her apology? Did it land like like she wanted to land with you, or do you feel like she was just full of it and not really contrite about what she asked Lisa Leslie?
Personally, I don't feel it. It doesn't matter what I think about her apology. She doesn't owe me an apology. She really owes it to the Bryant family and those close to him like that. So either way, it's hard for me to judge if someone's being sincere. I think that a lot of times people apologize just so they can keep their brand, or so they can keep whether they have a show or they have products they're trying to sell, and they don't want to mess that up. So it's really hard to say that anyone is truly being sincere in a quick snippet video that you have.
And I think that anytime somebody apologizes, once you start bringing other people into it, and she brought up the network and how they edited that interview, there was like no self-accountability. She didn't take any ownership in what she did at all. So that's why, again, like Lav said, it's not up to me to accept her apology. But as far as like Vanessa, the rest of his family, true fans, the Lakers, whoever else, Lisa Leslie, I wouldn't accept it, because it was more or less the company. Oh, I can't believe they did this to me. They edited the interview. Come on, they edit every interview. You're in those interviews for hours. They're not going to play every little word within 60 minutes, but you actually asked those questions. When Lisa answered it, you asked it again, you reworded it. So you can't blame that on the network. So I felt it wasn't an apology at all.
It definitely wasn't an apology, because she was asked prior to her public dragging if she was told that she should be embarrassed or something. Somebody messaged her on Twitter or something like that, and she responded like, no, I shouldn't be embarrassed, something. So that late apology, now that everybody's coming for her, that's meaningless to me. That's somebody typed that up for her at the job and put out that public statement to try to help her regain the black community's confidence in her journalism. But no, we're not having it. I don't care. And she does owe me an apology, because I love Kobe too. And I'm not accepting her apology. Talk about my
up at the public dragging.
I know. Comment. You know what? In that quasi apology, she actually said, I felt good about the interview. She said that point blank. I felt really good about the interview, until she started getting feedback. So that's one reason why I say I can't judge sincerity, but based on what she said, I don't know.
It did feel more like damage control.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that she was prepared for the response to be as visceral as it was. She was trying to protect her brand, and that she felt like that apology was going to quell whatever had already started. But I think it was too late, because social media was eating her alive. And I do think that criticism of Gayle King is fair. I don't think that this is the appropriate time to ask that question, but I do think that there were people who went beyond the pale when talking about her, in particular Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg went to Instagram and made several posts about Gayle King, showing pictures of her with Harvey Weinstein. He made comments about his feelings on her line of questioning, and he called her a dog-faced bee, and he made a veiled threat towards Gayle King as well. And there were other people who were just as loud. Lil Boosie, I saw where D.L. Hughley, why not, along the lines of Snoop Dogg, still came out with criticism. Bill Bellamy, several people came out with severe, harsh criticism towards Gayle King. And like I said, I think that she deserves all the criticism for what she did. I don't think it was appropriate. I do think that she was the blackface asking the question for white media and for white people to try to diminish a black man. But I will never side with grown black men calling a sister who was a mother who was in her 60s, the B word. I would never co-sign grown men threatening a black woman. I feel as if it is hard enough for our sisters out here. Our sisters are disregarded, held in low regard by so many people, including way too many black men, brutalized by other people. And if the one demographic that is supposed to be charged with the protection of black women treats them in that fashion, even when they are in the wrong, we are lost as a community. Again, you can critique Gayle all you want, but calling her the B word, threatening her over this line of questioning, I got a problem with that. And I really have a problem with it because I did not see any of this smoke by Snoop Dogg, Lil Boosie, whoever, when the white girl who we talked about in the last episode was more forceful with her critique of Kobe. And she did it on the day that he died. When the comedian talking about how Kobe got away with rape and made real crass comments about Kobe's life, I didn't see any of that smoke by any of these rappers. And like the great Neely Fuller says, black people love the shadow box. You full of fire and righteous indignation when it comes to black people, but when it's the other side, you don't want to say anything. You just want to ask for an apology or ask for their job to be taken away. But when it comes to somebody that looks like you or somebody that looks like your mama, you want to say F that B and make threats towards her. That's cowardly to me. So what are your opinions about the response that you saw from Snoop Dogg and other people on social media?
I'm not gonna lie, I probably I should have had the response that you had, but I was more or less when I saw Oprah saying Gayle's not doing well, I was like, oh well. You know who's not doing well? Vanessa's not doing well.
What'd you say? F that B? Is that what you said?
No. I mean I was thinking
Dog face.
but I didn't say it.
Right, keep it real. Keep it real.
Yeah, to keep her. I mean, I was thinking that, so I was like, Vanessa's not doing well. Their children.
Remember the intro. We keep it 100% real and 100% black all the time. So keep it real.
Right. So, I mean, in retrospect, I feel like, yes, we should have had that same energy with the other people who disrespected Kobe. It should be the same across the board, and we don't do that. And that's something that we definitely need to address as a people. Why we think it's okay to disrespect ourselves before we're willing to step out there and disrespect others who have, disrespected us. I mean, if you're going to respond in kind, then you should go, as hard at them when they do the same thing. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not too concerned about Gayle doing well or not doing well. I think that some people did take it too far, but I think that people take things too far on the internet every single day. So when you step out there in the public sphere, you subject yourself to potentially being in, like I said, a public dragging. That may go too far. So, too bad. So sad.
And I agree with what Erika said. I really, when I first heard Snoop say it, I mean, I don't know if I really thought the name calling was too far. I really thought the death threats were. When he said, we'll come for you. Well, that can mean, so many different things. But when, somebody like Snoop Dogg, what the type of people that he has surrounded by him says, we'll come for you, that could be that could be a death threat. But I think he just meant like, we'll come for you, like we'll drag you publicly on the internet. But as far as, I don't ever agree with the black man calling the black woman out of their name or anything like that. But I kind of feel like Gayle brought it on herself. I would have preferred Snoop to pick up the phone and call her and have that conversation. But at the same time, she's making, like Rika said, she made her interview public. She's making her life public. So you're going to get called out and drugged publicly. As far as, do we have that same energy against white folks? We don't. I mean, like you said, that term I think I learned from you years ago is that black folks do love the shadow box. But what I've also learned a lot of times, Black folks are only surrounded by Black folks, and whether that's in your personal life, your social media, how many, the percentage of friends, the people you follow. So there's a good chance that I'm not really going to give Snoop this much credit, but there's a good chance that Boosie and those other people never even heard the white lady that we talked about on the last show that came at Kobe, and never even heard the white comedian, because I still haven't heard the white comedian. I don't even know what you're talking about until you just said that 2 minutes ago. So it's a good chance that they may not even heard those people and had the opportunity to respond. Should they have did the due diligence to go out and search and see who's all talking stuff on Kobe so he can make a collective or, video? Yeah, I think he should have, but, I can't really fault him for not knowing. When this stuff with Gayle is practically thrown in our face, everybody on Facebook that I'm friends with was sharing it. Every group that I'm in that was sharing it. It's popping up, and as far as the white lady in Colorado, I only saw that because I was out searching for Kobe. And then again, the comedian, I still haven't, I don't even know who that is, but I'm not going to give it any energy searching for it either.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Boosie, Snoop, and everybody else who is a rapper or comedian, social media influencer, I find it hard to believe that they aren't abreast to everything that happens on social media, because that's how they grow and maintain their brand. So I get that maybe they did not know, and you're giving them that benefit of the doubt, but I am not, and I just would never ever 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 side with grown Black men. Snoop is a grandfather, and he's out here calling Gayle a B. Dude, that just because you may be hurting or you are grieving, it does not mean that you are absolved from conducting yourself as a Black man should and being a provider and protector of the Black community. We can correct each other. We can say, hey, listen, you wrong. You wrong as you know what. But when you start threatening Black women, that's cowardly to me. And nothing would ever make that compute in my mind. Lab, I mean, what do you think? You're a Black man like I am. Do you feel the same way, or you feel differently?
Man, I'm in your camp on this one, honestly, man. I saw somebody tweet. It was kind of fun. I'm not kind of funny, but it said, "Shout out to all the hashtag girl dads. I see you out there, coming for Gayle King, and that's kind of something that I thought about. A lot of the people were so proud. We're raising our daughters. We're raising them to where men can respect them, where people do right by them, and then less than a week later, we out here calling a Black woman the B word, a dog-faced B word. So I'm kind of in the camp with you when it comes to something like that. But I think Boosie, man, was just trying to get back because y'all drug him on social media a couple weeks ago, man. Boosie had to take it out on somebody, I was thinking man. That too. He had to take it out on somebody.
Yeah. Nah, and whoever came up with that point when they said, I see everybody out here talking about you a girl dad, but now you out here calling a Black woman the B word. That's real. That's absolutely real. And I think that we as brothers need to call that type of action out. We need to say, hey, listen, you've gone too far. And that's about, it's about keeping it real and about keeping manhood at the forefront at all times. So have I always been perfect my whole life? No. Have I talked crazy to women when I was younger? Absolutely. But as a grown man, and Snoop is older than me, I just don't think it's acceptable. And the reason why it's not acceptable for Snoop in particular, because he has influence. He has influence. And we know that words matter and that there are plenty of fools out here that will say, okay, you dog-faced B, and we're going to come at you. Like C said, he may have been like, we're going to come at you on social media. But you know how many fools are out here that is going to take it literally and try to come after Gayle, come after Gayle's kids, her family, whatever. Should Gayle receive that fire from social media? Absolutely. But I'm not with the threatening at all. I'm not with it. And I find it funny, and I just got to point this out, that the two women on the show really didn't sympathize with Gayle, but the two brothers did. What does that mean?
I think it just means that Rika and I are being honest and real. Like, you know, Marv, one of my favorite acronyms is FTB. So how many times do I say that about people every day on Facebook, through text message, on the phone? That doesn't mean that I don't love and respect Black women. I'll ride for Black women harder than I ride for, you know, anybody else out here. I have to. But I mean, I'm just being honest. That's just how, when he said it about Gayle, I'm like, this could be a lot worse. It could be said and could be done. Like Arika said, Vanessa's still, you know, going through things right now. Oprah wanted us to feel bad for Gayle? No, nah.
See, for me, I guess part of it is that I didn't listen to what people had to say about Gayle. So I didn't hear Snoop actually call her the B word. I didn't hear him say, we're going to come for you. And I have no idea what Boosie had to say. But, you know, I feel like even when Snoop came out and apologized, I felt like that was that same kind of apology that Gayle gave. It's just unnecessary. I wish people would just stand on what they say more instead of apologizing, saying like, you know what, I was upset and I went too far and there's a lesson to be learned in this. I think that instead of disrespecting people when we feel that we've been disrespected, maybe this could be a teachable moment or something. I would respect that more than people saying, oh, I shouldn't have said that, I was upset. Well, we all upset and we all say things that we don't mean or that we do mean. And I think that he meant it. So I think he should stand on it. And at the time, I was like, they called her B word. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I use the word a lot too. So, and I mean, I cuss. If y'all know me in real life, y'all know every other word out of my mouth pretty much is a cuss word. And so it, to me, is just, it's language. But like you said, he has influence. And that's where the difference comes in, I think.
I think words matter. And I think that if people were to listen to us behind the scenes, as a Man Listen crew, they would be shocked and amazed that we were able to get through a 40-minute show without cursing the way all of us talk. And I'm not exactly. I mean, if I'm not against curse words, I'm not against that. I'm just saying that the threats and the insults towards a Black woman is something that we can't tolerate. And if we're going to enlighten, empower, and enrich the Black community, which we all want to do with this show, we have to call that type of negative behavior out. Because once you do it once, it's easier to do it again and to find a way to justify it. So, with that being said, let's just talk about Oprah and Gayle. A lot of people saying that they are targeting Black men. I mean, you got Oprah with the documentary that she was behind that was going after Michael Jackson, with the guys who had credibility issues, and come to find out that some of the accusations that they made on that documentary were debunked. Oprah was lending her support to the documentary that was going after Russell Simmons and the sexual assault allegations that had been levied against him by several women. Gayle, whether right or wrong, a lot of people feel that he's wrong, and you'd be hard pressed for any of us to disagree with it. Gayle was the face that was going after R. Kelly during that infamous interview, and now you got Gayle going after Kobe with this interview with Lisa Leslie. A lot of people, and see, I think you said it earlier on in the show, are disappointed with Oprah and Gayle because they feel as if they are Black women who are targeting Black men, when there are plenty of white male examples who have been accused of sexual assault, sexual misconduct, but it seems as if only the Black men are being highlighted by these Black women. A lot of folks are talking about canceling Oprah and Gayle. Do you think that's fair?
I unfollowed them. So, yes, I think that, like, Snoop has to be careful about what he does with his influence. We have to be careful about what we do with our support. And if we keep throwing our support or appearing to support people who are not proponents of what we consider to be the agenda for our people, then, I mean, we have to make it clear that we don't support what they're doing or their position on things. I would also say that maybe, like how you said earlier, that their employees, maybe those other, interviews aren't being approved or whatever, but even still, you still have the ability to ask the questions. You have the ability to say, hey, I wanted to do these other interviews, but, they were denied or for whatever reason. But then again, you're trying to hang on to that money or to that brand, and so you're still willing to sacrifice what needs to be done for our community for your own personal agenda. And so if that's what you're doing, then be my guest, but I can't support that.
I'm not really a cancel this person type of guy, so I can't say I'm a cancel Gayle and Oprah. Shoot, I might need a car. Oprah might give me a car. But at the end of the day, I think, this is kind of what Gayle was trying to speak to, and is that everybody has contradictions. Everybody has places in their life where there are hypocrites versus their actions versus what they say and what they aim to do. And so that's really why I'm not into the cancel culture, because everybody has something. Now, unfollowing them or having less influence on you, I totally agree with that, Arika. Maybe, you don't want to hear what they have to say on the day-to-day because it is tainted in your mind. But at the end of the day, they can redeem themselves somehow if they give me that car. What's up, Oprah?
And last
It all depends on the car.
Hey.
Like Laugh trying to be an opportunist. He don't want to rub Oprah the wrong way in case she listens to the show.
Chappelle, man.
I'm the queen of canceling people. I canceled Oprah and Gayle a long time ago.
But why do you feel why is it so easy?
Did you cancel Gayle before R. Kelly, or was that because I guess I really never paid attention to Gayle as a interviewee or anything before R. Kelly.
Did Gayle get canceled because of R. Kelly?
Not because of R. Kelly, because I think we all know that what R. Kelly did was wrong. I definitely wouldn't cancel anybody over him. So I feel like Gayle and Oprah have been on an anti-black male campaign for years. You see them hugged up with different white men like Harvey Weinstein and Charlie Sheen in pictures. Like, everybody kind of forgot about what Charlie Sheen did. Like, how many women went after him? Gayle's friends with him, and she pretty much took up for him. But the first chance she gets to go after anybody black, she does it. So that's why I canceled them a long time ago.
Okay.
Lav said that people can come back, and I don't think you should cancel off one mistake. But just until they come back, they're canceled.
I don't know. I've been a part of the cancel culture, and I think when you play in media and social media, that tide can turn real quick. Our followers are strong. They love what we do, but let us put out a show that they disagree with, and those unfollows start to hit. And all the people who listen and are quiet about what they feel about the Man Listen show, even though they like it, if we say something that they don't like, which we're going to always keep it real, but if we say something that they don't like, the word will spread so fast. And I just think you have to be careful with canceling people just because they say or do something that is against your belief system. Now, if it is something that's to the detriment of the black community and they show a pattern, most definitely. Kanye has shown to be a dangerous sellout. And we gave him the benefit of the doubt. We did a couple of shows, and I think people wanted to keep him along because they really wanted to still enjoy the good music that he puts out. And I also think that it's much easier, and I've noticed this pattern, that it's much easier for people to cancel black women. Again, we're going back to protecting black women. It's much easier to cancel black women than it is black men. How many chances did Kanye get? How many chances did Chrisette Michele get?
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, let's keep it real. Kanye, well paid. Chrisette Michele, she did the inauguration, and black social media cancel her completely. Even if she even tries to come back, if she does an interview, the drag is on. So juxtapose how we treat black men to how we treat black women. Because if we keep it real, black women are really the backbone of the community. This is coming from a strong black man. This is coming from a strong black man.
The whole country, bro, for real.
When you talk to
I was really surprised at how they canceled Chrisette Michele though for so long. I didn't think it was going to last that long.
I'm not.
I didn't either. I hated it.
I'm not.
You don't got Beyonce money. I would have got that check too.
But listen, absolutely. But check it out though. When you talk to Republicans, they will tell you does nobody hates Republicans and white supremacy more than black women. Look at when the voting numbers come out and they talk about black people who voted for the
Yep.
Republicans, you always see 10 to 13% of black men. You'll see 98% of black
98%
women.
of women. Yep.
No, we are not fooling with
Crazy.
y'all.
Crazy.
So that's why for me, it is exceptionally offensive for us as black men not to stand tall for black women when they stand tall for us all the time. You see, the problem is this. While Gayle and Oprah, yeah, they're on the wrong side of this whole, are we going to target the black man? But I'm not really trying to spend a whole bunch of energy with Russell, and you got like 30 people saying that you sexually assaulted him, Russ. I just can't spend a whole lot of energy on that. I can't spend a whole lot of energy trying to defend R. Kelly or Bill Cosby. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Do I like it? No. Do I like what she did to Michael Jackson? No. But I do know Oprah does a lot with her money, with Morehouse and other places. So I think we just got to keep it in perspective and be balanced with what we do and not just be so quick to just throw away anybody that doesn't do what we want. And we definitely can't accept our black women being threatened and disrespected in the fashion that they were. Final thoughts? What do y'all got to say?
Yeah, you're right. Now I feel a little bad. Okay, Oprah and Gayle, you can come back.
They have to earn it.
They got to earn that invite, huh?
Gotta earn it.
I feel like it's kind of like with the NFL, though, because it's like I couldn't really boycott the NFL because I don't really watch it, and I can't really cancel them because I don't really watch anything that they do. I've never seen a full Gayle interview in my life, and I don't watch any of Oprah's shows. So
Right.
That's a good point. I don't either.
They don't need me because my support is so minimal.
Yeah, I was not even up on Gayle until the R. Kelly interview. I mean, I knew she hosted the CBS morning show, but that was it. I really never paid attention to her.
Yeah, well, she got a lot of attention now, and she definitely made a misstep. I do think she can come back from it. I think that we need to watch where this cancel culture is taking us. And with that being said, I mean, like, if you mess up, you can apologize, but you still got to take your wood, you know?
Yep.
Gayle deserves
that.
that.
Doesn't absolve you from the consequences.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mess up, there's consequences. We have freedom of speech, but it doesn't absolve you from the consequences. So, with that being said, I think we talked about it enough. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find us at Man Listen Show. You can also subscribe to the show on SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, basically everywhere you can find a podcast. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Holla.